Yeah, that's right. We're back, and this ain't my first mortgage podcast. Welcome to the show, where we discuss all things mortgage sales, industry news, interviews of the top mortgage professionals, and more. Strap on in, enjoy the ride, and welcome to Ain't My First Mortgage Podcast. Steve Richman, welcome to Ain't My First Mortgage Podcast, because it ain't my first mortgage podcast. Welcome to the show. You are my first three-peater I've interviewed, so look at there. Love to have you on, man. How we doing?
I feel like it's Saturday Night Live. I can get the 5-timer jacket.
That's right. That's right.
I got a one-time skip sweatshirt. I'm not sure I can wear it anymore because it's not a rodeo sweatshirt. What are you gonna do?
I love it. I love it. How's everything going for you, man?
Well, the weather. Finally, I'm a summer guy. Sun's coming out, the heat's turning up, so I'm in my happy place right now. But
very good.
Business is business, it's our and we're coming into summer, which for salespeople it goes up, for training it goes down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm on vacation, I'm like, well, I got to make money so I can go on vacations. I can afford to try figuring it out.
I love it. I love it. Well, you and I got to spend a little bit of time together this week in Washington, D.C. at the Mortgage Bankers Association State and Local Workshop Day. And I really enjoyed your presentation there. And, it's always a treat to hear you present. Had some really great takeaways. Did you have a good time up there?
I think that conference is that conference, we were there for that amount, and then they did advocacy and
right. Well, of course, I was there for that too. But yeah.
When you wrap all of that together, I just think that is one of the most impactful conferences in our industry. And if I could figure out a way to help people understand that you can have that all this stuff does happen in the legislature, and there's rules and regulations and laws that affect us and our industry all the time.
Yeah.
And will actually listen to us when you do stuff like this. And that's one of the things that I said from the stage was, as the MBA and as the state associations and as the people who do this, we need to have a better elevator speech on what a PAC is, what advocacy is, and all that to all of our people, because they're just thinking, oh man, they're all against us and they're writing rules that are going to hurt us, and we have to pay the money so that we can get in front of the politician. And it's really more than that. And even without paying lots and lots of money, you really can have an impact if you start to establish. And this is probably one of the things that we should talk about is relationships. If you can establish that relationship with that politician and you're the one who's in that politician's ear, guess, because they don't know anything about our industry. They don't know what's going on. So they're getting their influence from one place or another. So why not from you?
Exactly. If it's not the topic du jour, they're not going to be aware of it or even potentially its impact. This trip, we were very fortunate to have the Road to Housing, or whatever particular name it's called currently, be a big deal. They were familiar with most of it, but not everybody. But that's just one thing. And like you said, it gives a great opportunity to everyone to really see how we set the stage that we function in and day out. And so, yeah, it was good. I had never been to the state and local workshop before, and it's been many years since I went to a national advocacy conference, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now I remember why you still like going so much.
And here's my little shameless plug. So from the stage, what did we talk about? That parts of my keynote in regards to change. And we said how to change in regards to the association, but I've done this at several associations and several lenders about dealing with change. So if anybody wants to continue that conversation,
that's right. Love it. So I do want to ask you though, because you and I both on the road a lot, and we see a lot of different things, but I want to ask you, what are you seeing right now as far as the biggest or hottest topic for your LO groups that you're talking to? Like, what are they enjoying doing? What are they struggling with? Give me that whole rundown.
I'm going to break it up just for a second because it reminds me of a little story. I was in West Virginia and I was with some lenders, and one of the LOs said to me, where do you stand on work-life balance?
That's a loaded question.
And my comment was, how do you define work-life balance? What are your goals? Because do I like work-life balance? Absolutely. But if your goal is to be the number one LO in the United States of America,
Yeah, it's
not going to have
a
work.
personalized question. I mean,
You're not going to have work-life balance, right? I mean, you're going to be working more than you're going to be living if your goal is to be number one. I'm not knocking that.
No.
And if you're like, hey, I'm happy doing 3 loans a year, so that way I can spend more leisure time and family time and then there's going to be a lot more life than there's going to be work. My comment is, you got to see what your goals are to figure out how to make that balance work.
Mhm.
And I'm watching a balance right now relationships versus technology. And I know, oh no, you use technology to do the relationships and do you? So I was listening to some folks yesterday and it was like, you need both. And then they spent 99% of their time talking about all the technology they use and not talking about the relationship. So I'm like, okay, you're saying the relationship still counts, but you're only talking about the technology. So the first thing I want to say that I'm seeing that's out there, because listen, you got to get it in your sales funnel, and then you're going to have your AI chatbot do this, and then your CRM is going to do it out, and you set it, and it's behind the scenes, and they're going to have 6 contact points. It's going to, why am I here, Skip? What got me on your podcast today?
Because I asked you.
No, why did you ask me?
Because I think you have valuable information.
Where were we when you asked me?
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I see where you're going. So yeah, we were together in person.
We were face to face.
Yes.
My point is, yes, you need all that other stuff, but there is no substitute for face to face, eye to eye, belly to belly, shaking hands. There just isn't. And LinkedIn just sent me a request. They said, oh, as a top contributor on LinkedIn, can you answer this question on how do people just getting out of college right now, the numbers come out, they're having trouble getting jobs. How do they get jobs? I'm like, everything's about networking. You're going, oh, how do I put this into in a search engine with my resume, and AI helped me create my resume? I got to tell you, every job I've ever gotten is because I knew somebody, and that's what got me in the door there. So please, I'm not saying technology isn't important. Technology is important, but you still have to shake the hands and kiss the baby. And
shake the baby, kiss the hands.
No, don't do that. They could be in jail, and then you mean,
oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
That's a whole other, prison's a whole other different.
No, you're blind mind about that. But it's a thing. And obviously, we're not going to talk a ton about AI, but people ask me all the time, of course, like they do you. Oh well, what's AI going to do? Like, look, without sounding too cliche, it's like but it's going to give us an opportunity to double down on our humanity instead of focusing on that. But to your point, we got to remember that everyone's focusing on tech. It doesn't AI, whatever, CRM, LOS, doesn't matter, whatever the tech is.
But it's still not a substitute.
Nope, not a substitute.
So then you said AI. So I think I heard this twice this week, within the past 8 days. So if it's a little over a week, I apologize. But I heard it twice. You need to have an AI note taker on your phone and an AI note taker on your computer.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you think about that? Do you need it? What do you think?
Do I need it?
Does everybody need an AI note taker?
So do I need it? It just saves me time.
You know what an AI note taker is?
Well, I mean, I'm using one right now to take notes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, Zoom's got one, and it gives me a synopsis of our meeting. We all know how that works. Saves me time from having to write stuff down, that kind of thing. It's great. Do I have to have it? No, I can survive without it.
But it saves you time. You get that. I hear what you're saying, but I'm going to push back just a little. It really
thought you might.
I'm not saying that a note taker is a bad thing, but it's all of AI. It's about how are you going to use it, and are you using it as a crutch? I know for me, I did this when I was in school, and I do it today. If I really want to remember something, I write it down.
Well, no, that's a legit thing. Several of my friends in education, that schools are moving away from the issued Chromebooks and all that kind of thing and going back to the handwritten model because the brain retains it so much more effectively.
So if you're using it, just to document proof that this is what it was. Back to my legal days. I can document proof of actually what was discussed in that conversation. Then I can keep it in my back drawer in case they try and change something later. I can go and find it. But if I'm trying to remember what they said, because you always, when you talk to your customer, like, hey, but you also told me that you're thinking about that you just had a baby a little bit ago, and If you just thought, oh, the note taker kept that, and I didn't look at it, it doesn't help you.
Yeah.
So I'm a huge fan of still taking notes. I think, and think people are starting to use it as a crutch. So I'll give you 2 quick examples. I mean, see, I apologize. I don't know this about. Do you have kids?
I do have kids. I've got 3 children, 17, about to be 14, and about to be 6.
Okay. All too young for my example. Well, the 17-year-old. Does the 17-year-old drive?
Yes.
Can the 17-year-old get from point A to point B without a GPS?
Not easily. Yeah.
Right? My kids don't have map making ability within their own brain anymore because they click a button and it takes them. I'm like, where are you going? Oh, it has me on some back road. Why? Did you know it, right? When we rely on that for everything, we lose that skill set that we have elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
If you're relying on that for your memory, you're going to lose your memory. I really do, but you're not going to retain it the same
The brain
way.
is lazy. It does, yeah. So just like going to the gym, the muscle gets weak.
I'll talk about lazy in a minute. We'll wrap up. Remind me about lazy.
Okay.
And the other example that I have is GPS. I mean, you and I, we talk. We're friends, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
What's my phone number?
I had no idea. It's in my phone.
It's in your phone, right? When we rely
on my phone number from 3rd grade.
Right. Why? Because we needed everybody's phone number back then. You had to have it memorized because there was no other way to do it.
Yeah.
When we rely on our phone as a crutch, I'm embarrassed to say this. I don't know my mother's phone number. I don't know my son or my daughter's phone number.
Yeah.
What I know is call Izzy. Call her, right? I don't know their phone number. So if my phone died one day and I'm on the side of the street and I have to call them and somebody says, you can borrow my phone, I don't know who to call.
Yeah. I've actually had, so it's funny you said, I've actually said, hey, what's your phone number? And the guy's like, I don't know. I don't recall myself. Hold on. Let me check my phone real quick. I'm like, holy hell, are you serious? Come on.
My kids don't remember what their license plate is because they took a picture of their license plate. Now it's in there. They don't have to remember what it is because I can always look for it later.
Yeah.
But when you're engaged in ongoing conversation with somebody, you want to be able to pull that up right now. You need to retain it. Take notes.
Yes. So I have the little meeting recorder that I can, get transcripts of conferences or meeting with it. But I'm still an avid handwritten note taker. So I'm actually pulling double duty. I'm doubly inefficient.
And you said, but boredom, right? And I think a lot of times the reason we jump into the AI and stuff is boredom. We're like, oh, let me go look at the new TikToks. Let me go look at the new Instagram. Let me go play with this. I mean, yeah, I saw somebody they're talking about how to create a song. And the comment was, but just have fun with it. You don't have to do it for business. Just have fun and you'll get, yeah, that's nice. And it is fun. I'm not arguing that at all. But there's a woman named Manoush Zimmerati. You ever heard of her?
No.
She's one of these like, oh my God, I have a total professional crush on this woman. She is just so smart. She has such practical information. She's met her, but I'm like, oh my God, she's a TED Talk lady. And
oh yeah.
Awesome. So in her TED Talk, she says boredom can be good because what boredom allows you to do is when you get bored, your brain goes into a different mode and helps you solve problems.
Yeah.
And what happens is the minute anyone gets bored today, what do? They jump on their technology and they're looking for movies of cats playing the piano and whatnot. So they're engaging their brain so they're never getting bored. We're back to that memory, that the memory is a muscle, also creativity is a muscle. And if we are constantly outsourcing creativity, we let something else build our slides and I got to look at something on YouTube every minute of the day. I mean, we were at that conference and in between speakers, everybody wrote right down to their phone. I'm like, the most important people in this audience are sitting next to you and they're not the people on your phone. You need to talk to other people that are here. from Manu Zimmerati, I just simply say to you, you can give yourself permission to be a little bit bored. Sometimes it's good not to be on your technology 24.
Yep. No, I love it. It's easier said than done, but it's something that you're right. We do need to practice.
Well, I think about this all the time because people say to me, where'd you come up with that idea for that presentation or this presentation? And times out of 10, well, when I saw you in DC, I took notes at 3:30 in the morning because I was asleep, and I woke up and I had the idea because it allowed my brain to go and wander. And so I changed my presentation at 3:30 in the morning because something came to my mind.
Oh, okay.
I wrote one of my presentations driving my daughter to school just because I'm like, it's driving my mind. I'm on autopilot to take her to school, and I'm creating this whole thing. And I actually drove by her school. She's like, Dad, but I think we're losing the memory muscle and the creativity muscle because we're not letting AI and technology should be thought of as the steroid that cranks that muscle up, but not the replacement for the muscle. And I think some people are using it as a replacement, and that's what scares me.
Yeah, it's like you getting on a treadmill in a wheelchair. It doesn't do anything. It makes you feel like you're doing something, but yeah.
Like that one. I'm going to think about that one for a while, but I hear what you're saying. So,
but yeah, no, I think LOs need to go back. Let's bring it all full circle here. I think LOs need to embrace it, need to use it, but let's not lose touch of what really makes a big difference. So I will die on that hill.
Let me ask you this.
Personal matters. Yeah.
Right. I ask LOs, and some of them struggle with this. What's your elevator pitch?
Mm-hmm.
Someone's like, well, I have a website. Just go look there. I don't want to look there.
No, I asked you. What is it? Yeah.
What makes you different? Not what can I read about you. So
yeah, it's one of the things that I go over in my networking boot camp is, hey, what's your personal professional power intro? That's another name for an elevator pitch, right? And folks struggle with it because they're like, I don't know. I mean, I'm an LO. I help people buy homes. No, that's not. No, we got to take it further. But it's the same things like, it's very interesting. It's very interesting.
I say this all the time. People are like, oh, you're creative. You're this. Like, networking is my superpower.
Yeah.
If you said to me, if I took one thing away from you, what would destroy if you call me successful, but any success that you've had, it's my network. Everything. I'm on this because you're in my network. And the way that I look at networking is it's Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Right? I got another one, and sometimes you'll get a cherry, and oh my God, look what you don't know what it. You don't
just never know.
Add everybody to your network, and then all of a sudden you get the cherry or you get the diamond or whatever, Pac-Man's eating and gives them the superpowers. So you got to keep adding to your network, adding to your database, adding to your network. And some of those are going to pop and produce excellent fruit for you.
Oh yeah, for sure. And likewise you for them. So, that's a big deal. Okay. So you want me to come back to lazy?
Oh, I already did Manu Zimmerati. Be bored.
Okay. Just want to be sure. I just want to be sure. So,
big difference between lazy and bored.
Yeah.
Bored is giving yourself permission to slow your mind down, to allow it to explore other things. Lazy is, I know I should be doing that, but that's not a priority, and I choose not to.
Yeah. It's something as simple as like, okay, so in the cooler months, I'll get the fire pit going. I'll go out there and I'll sit by the fire pit and I'll stare off into space, or at least that's what it looks like, right?
Did you say you sit or you sip by the fire pit?
But it's like my kids will say, "Well, hey, what are you doing out there?" I'm just sitting out here letting the mind go, letting it, and you can come up with all kinds of things if you quiet the noise. It's wild.
But you need to give yourself permission.
Yeah, you have to. It's all right. So as we wrap up, because I know, we keep these short and sweet. What else would you like to share with the audience, the crew today?
The other thing that I would probably share, though, is you still got to move a mouse. I mean, my God, this stuff is just changing so fast. And I still know people that don't know how to spell GPT of Chat GPT, right? It's like they just figured out there's a T in the word mortgage. And I do believe the more you do whatever it is, you will build that muscle. Don't rely on it. So go in ChatGPT or Perplexity or Gemini, or I don't care which one you use, Copilot, but start to use it for other things just to get comfortable with it. Just as I told people 3 years ago, you should stop all your phone calls and you should be doing video calls. I don't like being on video. Guess what? Once you start doing more video, you become what? Better and more effective and more comfortable.
They're more comfortable. Yeah.
Once you start doing more AI, you become better and more comfortable doing AI.
Nobody's good at everything immediately.
So that's where I am there. The two tips that I would probably show with AI right now. One, I'm a real big fan when I do my prompt, and I know this is not something new, but in case someone hasn't heard this, when you do your, but before you answer, ask me 3 more questions so that you provide me with a better answer. The AI knows, oh, well, I'd like to know this information. So that's the one thing. And the other, if you're not creating what's called a voice profile in AI, it's time for you to start doing that, because we want to be able to have talk in our own voice. And there's ways to
that avoids the, the
talk. Right. Where first thing is, what's the best word that is always used on ChatGPT? If it has the word delve in it, I know that it's delve. So maybe the word delve, but like I have 10 replies in a row. We're going to delve into that topic. I've never delved into anything.
Yep. No, definitely not. So, all right, Steve. So if people want to get in touch with you, book you as a speaker, where should they go? What should they do?
They can also just talk to me and have a conversation, baby. I'm all good. But it's Steve at Richman.com, RICHMAN. That's the goal that I have. I'll tell you that. Steve at SteveRichman.com. That's where I am. I put a lot of content out there on LinkedIn. So join my LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever you want to go. But SteveRichman.com is my website, Steve at SteveRichman.com. And you, the big energy man, you won't say that anymore. I know I've been to that rodeo. I've been to this rodeo. And
right. I'll keep it going, baby. Love it. Thank you so much for coming on the show, man.
I hope you have a great day.